Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Pierworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most. Here on The Rundown, 2A views, conservative views. And Craig, guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right, folks. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as we always like to say, the fun is all in the trying.
I'm trying to make my shirt a V-neck like yours.
Oh. How are we doing today, my friend?
Good. Listen, so I apologize, wasn't able to be here. Monday I was traveling, got stuck at the airport. I think I told you about that. Tuesday was got called into work yesterday, but I did try to watch. I was in a really sketchy, bad signal part of town, so I was watching on the Book of Faces. I don't know if I had bad Facebook signal or just bad signal at all. But I did send you some messages. Did you get? I said I gave you some advice. What I wanted to see more on the show.
I saw something. I'm trying to remember. The sad part is that I don't remember what I saw.
That's right. I said I wanted to see more TNA.
Oh, you did. Okay, yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
And then I said, what was TNA?
I don't remember.
More Trump and awesomeness. More Trump.
You did say that. Yes, you did. More Trump, more awesomeness, and we will try to oblige.
That's all I can ask for is more TNA right there. More Trump and awesomeness.
More Trump and awesomeness.
Yep.
Man, it's been it was an interesting week, man. The last couple of days, just talking about Supreme Court cases. And any thoughts on any of the Supreme Court cases?
Did you talk about Connecticut getting cert on the assault weapon ban?
We did talk about both Connecticut and Illinois, I believe. 2 states got cert on the AW bans. So yeah, that's something that will be taken up next session. It's going to be a pretty big one, and I'm real curious to see. I'm real curious to see how it comes out. The problem is I'm having less and less. I have no faith in Justice Roberts, and I'm having less and less faith with Amy Coney Barrett. But I still believe that's one they gotta come on. It's gotta go our way.
Listen, I think she's doing all right. The last couple of cases, she has had very, very positive things. Remember, and she had a couple of things where she didn't. In the cases that have just come out, she didn't say anything. Remember, she didn't. She wasn't on either side. Well, now we find out that they took cert. They gave cert in those 2 cases. Mm-hmm. Clearly, she had to be one of the ones that gave cert in those 2 cases. So, so I think that was why she didn't give signal before, because she said, "Hey, just wait a week. You'll see that I want to hear these cases."
Right.
My concern is that I'm hearing a lot of people on our team, on the Second Amendment team, just going, "That's it. We've won. They're going to take the cases." And I think that. I think that the people believe that once they take the case, they're going to grant everybody an AK and an AR at Christmas. Everybody's going to get one. And you're going to be able to have one no matter what. And I keep referring back to. I said, listen, the Bruins the best decision we've ever had. I think we can agree on that, right?
Yes.
Look at the restrictions in there. It's not a blanket. Everybody gets a gun.
Right.
It's the states still have the rights to determine what areas. Now we may fight about what those areas are, but it's not a blanket. I think a lot of people are expecting that in the assault weapon ban. I think the assault weapon ban is going to come down to. It's up to your state to make the decision, left or right.
Well, and I think, and what's interesting is watching a lot of these cases. I've noticed that how few of the judges actually have a real understanding of the technology with a lot of these firearm cases, and a lot of the attorneys aren't really doing much to help educate the judges. That's what I loved about Benitez, because Benitez actually had one of the expert witnesses bring an AR in. Explain it, explain how it works, explain the different parts, and ask questions. And all of that got on the record in the California case. So that's all stuff that I think that can help benefit justices who really don't know about why the technology matters in many of these cases.
Right. And listen, I feel how I feel about Judge St. Benitez, God bless his soul, that he understands it completely. I still don't think he would allow someone to open carry one in San Diego or Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, no. There are going to be they're going to allow some sort of restraint. I agree with you. I'm in agreement with you. It's not, and this court in particular has been loathed to just blanket. Okay, this is what's up. This is how it's going. But I think they are going to make it very clear. Look, this is the most commonly owned rifle platform in the world, if not the country, if not the world.
Yeah.
It is in common use. Any argument that they're making, look, it's not the gun of choice in mass shootings. It's not even responsible for most gun deaths, because most gun deaths, 2/3 of them are suicides. And I don't know many people who are committing suicides with AR rifles. Anyway,
No,
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how those restrictions come down.
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I do have every belief that Thomas is going to say that you should be able to, take one anywhere you want to.
Yes.
If you want.
No doubt in my mind. him and Alito, I think, are going to be pretty. Yeah, they're going to be pretty good.
They're going to combine it with the birthright citizenship thing. Like, in this country, when you're born, you shall be given an AR.
Yes.
I think that's
you shall be given an AR as a part of your citizenship.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see from those two. Yeah.
I got to tell you, on the birthright citizenship, I will say this again. I really think that what they did, and that was just they saw what a mess it would make, and they decided, you know what, we're not gonna do this.
Well, I mean, I think when you look at it, when you read it, and I sent you some articles on this as well.
Yeah.
Birthright citizenship. Look at the 14th Amendment, right?
Yes.
And understand the intent of the 14th. The intent of the 14th Amendment was to give the children of slaves the right to be citizens.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Born here, right. Give them citizenship. All right. Because the others were brought here against their will. We want to make sure they have the same rights. When you have this international birthright tourism nonsense, it's not the same thing. It's not the same intent. They're trying to cheat the system. I do think it could be fixed. And I think the reason the vote went down the way it is because this needs to be a law. This needs to be the House and Senate passing this. That we need to see a new law.
I agree. Yes. No, I 100% agree. One of the other things that Congress can do, and I was just listening to the Ben Shapiro show, and one thing he talked about is you remove the incentives for people to come here illegally. If you remove the incentives and you enforce the law, then you reduce the number of, and I'm sorry if this is an offensive term to some of y'all, anchor babies, but when you come here with the expressed purpose of having a child so that child will be a citizen, and because that child is a citizen, they are less likely to remove you, that by definition is an anchor baby.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right.
Anyway.
So I think we're in agreement on most everything there, except, so.
Yeah, I still think that, once again, this is a court. And here's what really gets me, though, is keep in mind the number of people that have said on the left who are like, oh, this is a Trump's court and he's fully in control of it. Do you know that Trump, between term 1 and this term, has been ruled against, has had his Supreme Court justices rule against him more than any other president? He's only like 51, 50, somewhere in the 50% of victories when it comes to going to the Supreme Court. My point is that for the fact that he supposedly owns this court, he's coming back 50-50.
Right. Yeah, but he's also put more cases forward because of the amount of judicial nonsense going on at the federal level. So a lot more cases have gone to them that he's tried to do, and he's had to put more executive orders out there because he can't get anybody in the Congress to work with him. Yeah.
Exactly. But once again, there are a number of things that we're finally getting some rulings on, and we're getting some motion on, and we're actually having public conversations about. So I'm not mad at it. If you notice, he said, hey, the Supreme Court's treating us fair.
Yes.
I don't like some of the rulings, but you know what? You win some, you lose some. Let's get back to the battle.
Yeah, listen, look, Gretzky said it right. You're never going to score if you don't take the shot.
Exactly. Hey, let's go ahead and get into the program the way we usually do. Let's start off before we get into it, because we are going to be talking about the Supreme Court. Let's go ahead and kick it off with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there. Check these guys out. They got rifle barrels, AR barrels, any length, any caliber, anything you want. Rifle, pistol, they got them all for AR. I mean, think of the weirdest caliber you heard of. They got it. You want it in 380 ACP? They got it on the shelf. You could go get it. It's that kind of stuff they got over there. Hitmanindustries.net. Check them out now. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, personal, no matter what it is, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
Also want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the 2A newsletter. Get your Second Amendment news in your inbox Monday through Friday every afternoon. Find out what's going on in the 2A world, whether the 2A news community is talking about it, or whether it's the blogosphere, whether it's the mainstream media and what they have to say about gun rights, or maybe you want to know what blogs, or whatever 2A videos are out there. This is the place to go. Now, let me make sure to let you know, when you go there, you go to 2anews.us, click on that subscribe here button. It'll take you in, put in your email address, make sure you confirm, because we're going to send you an email and it'll say, hey, we just want to make sure that you actually signed up for this. If you don't, because I got people messaging me saying, hey, I signed up, but I'm not getting my emails. One reason why is because they're not confirming. The other thing is, go ahead and add that email address. Go ahead and add it to your contacts. That way you make sure that your spam blocker doesn't block it out. But no, we're getting a lot of subscriptions now. Folks really seem to be enjoying it. Like I said, I find it to be a tremendous resource. And I put it together. So there you go.
Look at you, just patting yourself on the back. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Right there. Also want to encourage you, if you're watching the program during the 3 o'clock hour on the West Coast, or the 6 o'clock hour on the East Coast, you are watching us live, which means we want to hear from you. We want to take your comments, see what you think about the program, see what you think about me, Mike, whatever. If you like us, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us. In fact, if you disagree with us, it's probably even better, because then we have the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Get the mock out of here.
Mock you. Hold on, I'm trying to separate us here a little bit here. Let me see something if I can get this done. If this is going to work. No, it's got to wait. Got to wait till next.
Right. I'm about to sound like you had something else going on over there.
I gotta. Here, I tell you what I'm trying to do. I got a sticker. I'm gonna put it on my shirt. It's from our good friends over at the Gun Food, but that way it doesn't look like we're wearing the same shirt. I'll just trying to separate us a little bit.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you know what? Great minds think alike, right? All right. Let's get into today's news. Talking about the Supreme Court. Now, clearly the left is not happy with what's going on with the Supreme Court, because I don't know, they're actually making decisions based on, for the most part, the law. And needless to say, you've got Democrats now who are talking about all sorts of reforms. One of them went on Morning Joe. This is Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, who's considered one of the leading candidates for the Democratic Party to be nominated for president of the United States. Although I think his being Jewish may hurt him in the Democratic Party. This is what he had to say about reforms and changes to the Supreme Court that Democrats need to push for.
Governor, yesterday, despite the Supreme Court's upholding of birthright citizenship, it appears that the court is just one vote away. It was a 5-4 decision specifically on whether the 14th Amendment enshrined those rights. We now have folks like Vice President J.D. Vance coming out and saying, hey, this isn't over. This is just hanging by a thread, birthright citizenship. It's clear that this conservative movement is planning on continuing this fight. What do you believe Democrats should do if they do regain the majority? Do you think that expanding the court or setting term limits for the court should be on the table?
I think everything needs to be on the table. I think we need radical reform that's actually going to ensure that the voices of the people are heard from, that the voices of the people are represented in the three branches of government. We don't have that right now. You know, the framers were incredibly concerned, Madison in particular, about an executive accumulating too much power. We've seen that because this Supreme Court, in one of its worst decisions over the last century, gave a president absolute immunity because a Congress of the United States has withdrawn from its responsibilities to be a check on the executive. We can begin to change that by voting. And after we vote, I think we need dramatic reform to give the voice back to the people. As for the decision yesterday, I mean, it is as clear as day in the 14th Amendment. This case should have taken a nanosecond to decide, and it should have been 9-0. I gather some of the justices were intimidated by Donald Trump sitting there in the court, staring at them, glaring at them during that decision. And then J.D. Vance comes along and says the quiet part out loud. It's one of the reasons why we have to win the United States Senate and not let them appoint a justice, should there be a vacancy, who would be younger, who would be there for a long time, and be more dangerous when it comes to eviscerating the rights of Americans. So bottom line here is we need real reform in this country. It's got to be people-centered and people-powered, and it's got to come as a result of people rising up, showing up at the ballot box, demanding more from their elected officials, and ushering in a new chapter in this country, one that gets us back to our roots of being more hopeful, more inclusive, and more just.
Governor, speaking of the ballot box,
I don't understand what. First of all right, their job is not to create. Their job is to interpret the law. That's their job. And I hate to say this, dude, but so far they've done a pretty decent job. I can't say that I've agreed with every decision, but then again, I'm not a lawyer, let alone a Supreme Court justice. What really gets me though is this idea that, well, if Democrats don't get what they want, then that means that the people didn't get what they wanted. Well, is it really the job of the courts to give the people what they want or to interpret the law?
To interpret the law, right? Interpret the law, and he says that the Supreme Court gave the president absolute immunity. No, that was in 1982 under Harlow Fitzgerald. And by the way, that most of that court was appointed by Democrats. No, Craig. I mean, this is a case that's going to move forward. It is close, 5-4, like you said. I was unsure about where Roberts was going to end up as well on this one. But I think, once we get a Congress that works with the president, whether it be this president or the next, that this issue will go away. That's how this is going to be solved. Because, like you said, the Supreme Court didn't make this law. The Supreme Court interpreted what is there, and now the only thing that we need for this to change is a new law. If they put the new law in place, then that's the new law of the land. Now it may come back around where the Supreme Court has to take a look at that as well. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, exactly. Well, it's funny. It's funny you were saying that because there was a ruling where they actually came out against Donald Trump, and they came out and said, look, you can count ballots as long as they're postmarked on or before Election Day. You can count them even if they're received afterwards. And one of the things that that Amy Coney Barrett wrote in the decision was, we're not saying that you can't put a limit on that. All we're saying is we can't put that language in the law.
Yeah.
That's not our job to put that language in there, Mr. President. If you want that done, you got to get Congress to do it and you sign it.
Right. Exactly right. That's all we're waiting for.
Right. Well, exactly. And it's, he was talking about the increase in executive power, but the reality is it's not just Democrats and Republican presidents alike have worked to increase and expand the power within the executive branch. And sadly, it's been the legislative branch that has abdicated their role and responsibility by not wanting to take on the hard questions, by not wanting to do the hard things like bargain and compromise and develop details within the legislation so that you can be specific and these things don't have to go to court. But when you don't, two things happen. One, you give some executive branch agent, some bureaucrat, the ability to to determine the details, and those details change depending on who's running the executive. And then it has to go to court, and the court then has to decide, did the executive overreach and actually legislate from the executive, which oftentimes we find them doing.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Let's be clear. A lot of times, what the president is doing is, he's trying. It's not that he's trying to become, the emperor. It's that, he lost a little bit of power to the Congress, or the Congress refuses to do anything, so he has to try and take a little back just to be able to get the job done. It's
right.
I've never seen a president go, I want all the power, to dismiss the Senate, dismiss the court. He's never been the emperor. And any president, they're trying to get a little bit more so they can get their agenda pushed through. None of them have tried to be the king. I'll say that. Even the last guy and the guy before that and the guy before that.
Well, what's also hilarious about it is that they keep saying, well, President Trump is defying the courts. They can't name one court order that he has defied.
Correct.
Right? They say, well, he may say something. He may say he doesn't like it, but that doesn't mean that doesn't equate to defying it.
The only thing they can turn to is the he didn't turn the airplanes around in air and bring back the prisoners that were going down south. Oh, really? Turn the planes around in air so they don't have enough fuel to get back? Is that what you want them to do? Okay, got it.
Right.
Okay.
By the way, while at the same time ignoring that Joe Biden just said, yeah, no, I know the Supreme Court said I don't have the ability to forgive half a $1 trillion in student loan debt, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Going to do it anyway. Yep. Yep.
Anyway, fun stuff. And here's the thing, and he's talking about how they're going to want to limit. He was talking about how they're going to want to make it so that the president doesn't have the ability to put someone on the Supreme Court because you got 3 justices now that are in their 70s, 2 of which are part of the conservative majority, and may retire in the next couple of years. Well, that's why it's important to Republicans and for Republicans for us to win the midterms, right? Well, Democrats have got some really, really bad news. And this guy, David Enton over at CNN, I got to believe that Democrats over there must hate him because he's always delivering bad news when it comes to the poll numbers. And this is, in this particular case, he's talking about their chances of winning or taking back the Senate, which would then have to have an impact on the ability to get a conservative Supreme Court justice.
So what's the simple math here? Democrats need a net gain of four Senate seats to regain control of the upper chamber in Congress. And right now, the math, simply put, isn't there for them. That is the picture. And I want you, it's just, it's a math problem. It is a math problem. 2026 Senate poll margins. Okay, Democrats need a net gain of 4. Okay, you get 1 in North Carolina. But then you got a bunch of red on the screen. Now, these are close races, but you got a tie in Texas. Then it's +2 in Iowa for the Republicans, +2 in Alaska, and then +3, if we can make the circle there, in Ohio. So that gets you 1 seat, but of course you need 4 seats. And on this board, red, close races, and a tie. You're at 1, you're not yet to 4.
I mean, the good news for Democrats might be they're close in Texas, Iowa, Alaska, and Ohio. But again, it needs to be 4 of these that are blue in order for them to retake it. Now, there's one state that you did not put up here.
No.
That's Maine.
That is Maine. Maine, which we've had a few Senate polls the last couple of days. And what do you see here? Even in Maine, a state that Kamala Harris easily won back in 2024. Look, the New York Times has Plattner ahead by 2, but that, of course, is well within the margin of error. That is among likely voters. Fox News, on the other hand, has Susan Collins, the incumbent, up by 3 among all voters. So even in Maine, you have a race that simply put is way too close to call. So really on the mathematical march to 4 seats, there's really only 1 seat at this point that Democrats can look like they can count on. They'll probably win one of these other seats. But again, that gets you only to 2, and you need 4.
Yeah, you might think the Democrats would hope that they look better given the war in Iran, given inflationary concerns. The question is this their high water mark, or can they grow from here? They will need to grow. What are some of the reasons why they might be having a little bit of a harder time?
The real reason why they're having a little bit of a harder time is these are red states, right? With the exception of Maine, right? These were all states that Donald Trump won back in 2024. And look at this. The median in 6 key Senate races. Look at this. The generic Senate ballot lead for Republicans. Look at that. In the median state is 6 points. And of course, the median right down the middle is what, 3.5, right? So you need to win states in which the generic Senate ballot lead is Republican plus 6, and then say the Dem Party is too far to the left. Look at this, 53%. So these are states that are just very hard to win because bottom line is what is holding them back is the fundamentals. And when you put it all together, Johnny B., and you look at the prediction markets, which I think really can sort of put this all together, chance to win the Senate. The Republican chances, as you noted, John, the environment is getting a little bit better for Republicans. On May 1, Republicans had a 51% chance to take back the Senate. Now it's a 59% chance. Look, Democrats have a shot here. There are seats on the table, but the fundamentals are against them. And that right now, they're only one of the seats where they need to be. The mathematical problem is there for Democrats at this point. They simply put, have a statistical math problem.
So the thing that got me is most was, okay, I'm looking at those numbers and I'm like, you do know that all of those numbers are skewed towards the Democrats, meaning the ones where there's where the Republicans are up by 3 points, they're probably up somewhere between 7 to 10. In North Carolina, where they're supposedly up 7, I'll bet you they're maybe up 3. And the fact that you're going to call Texas a tie, now I get it. Paxton has some baggage, but if you think the state of Texas is going to elect howdy doody Richie Cunningham looking fake Christian, not quite so gay, maybe not gay, James Tallarico, you're nuts.
Yeah. Texas is not, just on his gender policy alone, they're not electing him. That's just not happening.
Not at all. He is so, how do I want to put it? He is so not Texas. Beto O'Rourke I believe had a better shot than this guy.
Yeah. Texas has got 2 genders, by the way. Steers and I'll let you guess the other one.
Cows.
Steers and cows. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. But anyway, I always said that it was going to be an uphill battle for them, and the fact that they've put these really whacked out candidates to run in states where I'm sorry, there are some blue dog Democrats out there that could win in these states. Harold Ford, right? Is a great example of a former Texas congressman, Democrat, who I think could win Texas, right? He's middle of the road. He's on Fox News every day. But he's a guy but the problem is that he's not a whacked out leftist, so they won't ever elect him.
Oh, I thought we had some video. Sorry.
No.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking from your silence, you were in agreement.
No, yes, I am in agreement. But I was like, thought there was video. There wasn't video. Okay.
Oh no, I wish it too. I wish I had some video. I don't know if you remember. I mean, first of all, he's always on Fox News now, but even when he was in Congress, he was. I mean, if there was such a thing as a moderate Democrat, he was it, and that's why he kept getting elected in Texas. Yeah,
it happens in the South. You guys, Southern Democrats have got that wholesome Republican thing to them.
Well, yeah, they used to anyway. Now you've got James Tallarico and what's her face eyelashes.
Yeah, listen, I got a friend of mine who's he's run for county commission down here a couple of times, and he's a Southern Democrat, about as Southern Democrat as you can get. And when we sit down and we do all of the core policies side by side, And I'm like, you know, you're a Republican, right? he's like, no, I'm a Southern Democrat. I go like, well, you're like the last one. So you
yeah, exactly. Hold on,
you might as well switch over.
Take a picture because
Yeah.
you're a rarity.
I'm like, you might as well switch parties and get elected. It's the same. You have the same platform. You know, it's just,
One would think that would make some sense, but not so much, evidently.
no.
Okay, let's see. Moving right along, the Justice Department now is suing, and I got to tell you, it's for those of you who have an issue or have said that Donald Trump isn't 2A enough, and I have had my complaints about where he's been on the Second Amendment and the stuff that he's done, but I've also said this: his judicial appointments have those alone have made him the most pro Second Amendment president that we've ever had. And we had the whole bump stock thing, and we had the whole take them in due process later. But right now, his Justice Department is doing a phenomenal job. Being here in California, I get used to my tax dollars. I get used to paying for these lawsuits, both as a person who's got to contribute to the organizations that are filing the suits, as well as being a taxpayer and having my tax dollars used against me. And I got to tell you, it's really, really cool to see my tax dollars, my federal tax dollars, now being used to help defend my rights. And that's exactly what's going on with the Department of Justice. Being reported by CBS News, Justice Department sues Virginia, California over gun laws. The Justice Department announced Wednesday that it had filed lawsuits against 2 states for what the department alleged are unconstitutional restrictions on the sales of certain types of guns. In Virginia, the department is targeting a law that banned the sale of automatic weapons. In California, it is suing over the newly enacted law that restricts the sale of some firearms with a trigger that could be modified into a machine gun convertible pistol. The California law went into effect on July 1. In a statement, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said that the Constitution is not a suggestion, and the Second Amendment is a sacred right belonging to all Americans, even those in California. The DOJ said its Virginia suit, filed against both the state and the state police, alleges that the state's law unconstitutionally bans the purchase and sale of ordinary semi-automatic rifles owned by millions of Americans. Now, mind you, once again, we're talking about laws that ban the use or ban the purchase of commonly owned firearms, right? I just don't see, I don't exactly see how these laws stand up at all.
They don't. And additionally, let's start off that they're constitutionally protected. Okay, let's go there. I think that's the easy answer that solves all of this. But Craig, this is as asinine as banning cars because they're race car convertible, banning alcohol because they're Molotov cocktail convertible, they're banning forks because they're Shiv convertible. Okay, it's that stupid. And this is just another way that California is looking to restrict your Second Amendment rights, be damned what the Supreme Court or what the law says. And all they're going to accomplish is wasting more Californians' money, getting the taxes raised, more people moving out, and you all living in bankruptcy and being homeless.
Right. Well, I don't plan on being homeless or living in bankruptcy, but I plan on, as there is that, what are they called?
You'll move first, Craig. You'll leave California first.
Right.
And make everybody else.
I'm hoping to get just wealthy enough to not be wealthy enough to be part of the people who are really getting hit.
Well, the problem is that level keeps
when I get near that point, I'm getting out.
That level keeps changing, right? It was billionaires, then it was multimillionaires, then it's billionaires. Now it's everybody making $500,000 a year getting taxed enough to where they're leaving your state.
100,000 heirs.
That's it. Exactly right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, sadly we don't do rights here in California. We don't do the Constitution. And once again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the former chairman of the Assembly Public Safety Committee specifically said, we don't do the Constitution.
No,
we don't.
Definitely do not. Definitely not.
Hey, American Crossfire's tuning in. He wanted to just give us a quick shout out. I want to give him a quick shout out as well. Also want to bring up this particular case over here. Now, this is an instance. This happened evidently this happened in Fort Worth. This is being reported by the Christian Post. It says here, police officer warns street preachers if they face citation if someone is offended by something they say, obviously, at a LGBTQ gay pride rally. And here's the video where they recorded it.
So that ordinance means like music, not talking. If someone is offended by your talking, then we have a problem.
That is a constitutional violation of our rights. If you shut us down,
no. If they are offended by your speech, okay, then I'll write you this ticket, and we'll go from there.
Wait, you're going to take us for offensive speech?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you serious?
Speech. You're going to cite us for offensive speech.
Yes, it's called disorderly conduct.
That's no. Disorderly conduct has to be accompanied by conduct.
This is the conduct
I'm
that
a
you're
retired
doing.
police officer myself.
For who?
26 years, federal law enforcement.
So it's federal. So this has nothing to do with local.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with local.
Yeah. Well,
do whatever you think that you can do.
Well, it says 80
whatever we
decibels.
think. Wow.
It says 80 decibels.
Since y'all know the law so well, I'm not going to let y'all do
So I just want to clarify. If anything is said that's offensive, you're going to write a ticket?
If someone complains that your language or what you're saying is offensive.
Yeah, so just in defense of the police department, I will say this. Texas Police Department says it plans to look into a viral video showing one of its officers warning a Christian street preacher group they could be cited for simply saying something offensive to others. The encounter occurred June 27th at Trinity Pride Fest in Fort Worth, where police were caught on video threatening to arrest members of a street preaching team led by evangelist Rick Penkoski. According to the video, police blocked Penkoski and David Grisham from accessing the sidewalk upon their arrival at the event. Grisham told officers about a lawsuit filed in 2014 against the city of Fort Worth for a similar encounter, according to the video. An unidentified female officer responded, "I don't care. You can file whatever lawsuit you want." As the street preaching group continued to question the police about the warning while they were moved to an area outside of police barricades, the female officer is heard saying, "If someone is offended by your talking, then we have a problem. If they are offended by your speech, okay, I will write you a ticket and we'll go from there." Now, Mike, I don't know what the hell this officer could possibly be thinking, unless they're saying they're gonna get them under hate speech, unless they're saying they're doing something under a hate speech prohibition, which I don't know Texas law enough to know that if there is such a thing in Texas.
Okay, this officer clearly has no idea what she's talking about. I mean, listen, one officer's video opinion does not make the state law or the agency's policy. That's clear. This will be cleared up in the next couple of days. It'll be followed with the statement that this DEI hire has been sent for retraining, to get her on board. But she clearly has no clue what the hell she's talking about.
Wow, you went there. He's like, this DEI hire. He's like, yeah, I'm going there.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, she clearly doesn't. But, it's one of the things I'll say is this. You know what? You can't expect, or maybe you can expect, every cop doesn't know every law. But
Correct.
I also think that at a certain point, you got to be very, very careful about enforcing something that you don't know is actually law.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this is one of the things probably talked about by a couple of rookie officers in a briefing. Listen, you're going to remember cops get 80 hours of legal training. Okay. They don't get, 3 years in law school. They get 80 hours of legal training, and that focuses on criminal law, not abstract law, like what's offensive and what's not offensive. Okay. That's exactly. Just it. And laws change the state. Listen, we used to have a law in Florida that said you can't have a bumper sticker with a curse word on it. And that was found to be unconstitutional, but it's there and they're told to enforce it. And that's what they do. I want them to be following the directives of their agency. And I don't believe this is the directive of the agency there. I believe she's either got some old law in her brain or she's just absolutely wrong. Either way, she's wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This we know. All right, folks. Yeah. Well, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your Hog Holster today on discount. Today, our parting shots are going to be brought to you from the Babylon Bee. Fake news that you can trust. And the first one here, SCOTUS rules invading xenomorphs who hatch on Earth are officially citizens of Earth.
Well, according to the recent ruling, yes.
According to the recent ruling, that would be the case. Oh, here we go. Terrorists torn between going on violent jihad or getting elected as a Democrat senator.
Is that Roy Kent? Who is that?
No, I think that's the guy who's running in Michigan, who's going to be the Democrat nominee in Michigan.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There you go.
Here we go. Trump announces $5 trillion project to clone Clarence Thomas.
Here's all my money. Take it.
Here's my money. I'll kick in for that.
Yep. Here's my money.
All right. Winning. Trump now rules entire world as Supreme Court declares everyone is American.
It's what they've done.
Okay, and we got one more here. Oh, well, that was the last one. There's the front page. Folks, if you have not subscribed to the Babylon Bee, like I said, I never read the articles. I don't look at the extra content, but the fact that they come up with these headlines that are hilarious, I got no problem kicking them down some cash just because I want to see them. I want to see them stick around. So if you haven't, you should at least consider it. And with that, we've come to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to do like we usually do, and we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there. They got AR barrels and rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire, any caliber you desire. They got them for you. Also have a whole set of regular rifle barrels, regular pistol barrels, and regular shotgun barrels. Get on over there. Get what you need. Hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
And once again, I also want to encourage you, please take a moment, go to 2anews.us, 2anews.us, and subscribe to the 2A newsletter. Get your daily dose of 2A News today. And that's going to be it for today's program. Once again, we very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Thursday, Throat Punch Thursday, having a good old time, and checking out the gun food.
The gun food, yay! Thanks for being my shirt sponsor today. Thank you.
There you go. There you go, folks. Yeah, check out the gun food. Trust me, they got phenomenal prices, excellent customer service. Patrick Collins over there, also a faithful viewer of the program. In any case, we will be back tomorrow, Throat Punch Thursday. To then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see y'all mañana.